Hello. So I look an absolute mess because I keep having hot flushes, but before we start this video I'm gonna show you what I've added to Reggie's cage. So I got him some cocoa soil from, I think it's Small Pet Sanctuary. Sprinkled some more herbs from Small Sprouts Co. I got him this from the pet shop and this to help him get up this ramp easier. I don't like this ramp and I've been trying to find things to replace it, but nothing's good enough. So if you've got any suggestions, then let me know. But yeah, Reggie's cage. So I thought it would be fun today to go through the Pets at Home care leaflet, because we all know pets at home, well, most pet stores, not the best for proper care. They have some good stuff, but a lot of things they sell is not suitable for your hamster. So let's just get straight into it. So Syrian hamsters can make good family pets, but may be better suited to older children and adults, as they are nocturnal and are active later in the evening, which is correct. Likely to live around 2 years, with some longer living. So most people say hamsters live 1.5 to 2 years. Of course they can live longer, but if I was Pets at Home, I would have written around 1.5 to 2 years, just so people aren't disappointed when the hamster dies a bit earlier than they're expecting. Oh, this is a good point. Syrian hamsters are naturally solitary animals when adults, which means your hamster will need to live alone. Thank you, but I don't understand why you put them in the same cage in the shops. But pop off this. Okay, so onto the home section. The bigger the cage, the better, so get the largest home for your hamster that you can. A deep plastic base will keep bedding contained and give them lots of opportunity to dig, while wire bars are great for climbing. We'll come back to that. Syrian hamsters need lots of exercise, so their cage is a place to play as well as sleep. Number one, they didn't put specifications for the cage, so don't quote me, but in the UK, I think the minimum cage requirement is 600 square inches of floor space. So we should really have that in there, because large, somebody might think a large is like that big. What other points? A deep plastic base. So if you have got a wired cage like me, this Savic cage is actually alright. I think you've got about 6 inches of plastic for your bedding, but I like to fill it a bit further up, so it's about 8 inches, maybe a bit more. But yeah, you need at least 6 inches of bedding for your hamster. And the part that shook me, wire bars are great for climbing. If your hamster is climbing the bars, that means they're stressed. They're not exercising. If you want them to exercise, get a wheel. Get plenty of enrichment, but if they are bar biting, bar climbing, monkey barring, that's a stress behaviour, so we don't want that. Your hamster's cage should be out of direct sunlight and away from droughts, radiators and electrical equipment. Try to keep it in a quiet place and where they can rest undisturbed and the lights go off around the same time every night. Remember, as they are nocturnal, your hamster will be up at night, so a bedroom might not be the best. So yeah, that's a good point. Reggie's in my computer room, So during the day I'm either at work or downstairs, and I'll come in around 9ish and just start going on my computer, and that's around the time he'll start to wake up, and then we can have a few hours together and I go to bed, so he's alone most of the time in quiet. The housework. Clean your hamster's cage once a week with pet-friendly disinfectant. Don't change your hamster's bedding once a week. I wouldn't even do it once a month, really. I'd just spot clean every few days. Like, you will find out where their pee spot is. It took me like 2 weeks to find it, but I found it. And if you just spot clean every few days, dirty bits of bedding, you'll never have to do a full clean unless your hamster has been ill. Then feel free to do a full clean with pet safe disinfectant. That you shouldn't really be doing a full clean. Change their bedding, but pop some previous dry unsoiled bedding and nesting material back, as familiar scents will help reassure your hamster, as they can find cleaning their cage stressful. Any toilet area needs cleaning daily. Hamster size litter trays makes it easier. So yeah, I definitely agree with when you do spot clean, don't take all the bedding out of that area. Just take the soiled and make sure they've still got some of their old bedding, because it can be quite stressful as they are very scent-based animals. Syrian hamsters like living alone. Yes, adults will fight if they live with each other, as they are territorial animals. If you want more than one pet, other similar species of rodents like mice, rats and some dwarf hamsters are happier in groups. You see, I wouldn't even put dwarf hamsters together, because any second, any time, they're gonna just and try and kill each other. You don't know when. They could be acting like best friends, and all of a sudden, bang, latched onto each other. Winter blues. Oh yeah, that's just, you know, keep your hamster's temperature right. It doesn't tell you what it's got to be in between, but I think it's mainly like 18 degrees it should be Celsius, because I'm from the UK. Okay. Add ladders, toys and tunnels for great hamster playground. And don't forget that hamsters naturally love burrowing, so a deep layer of bedding such as dust-free wood shavings or paper-based bedding will provide endless fun. Avoid sawdust, as it can make hamsters ill and is not recommended. Thank you. Why do you sell sawdust for hamsters then? Why? We'll never know. So ladders, I don't think I'd recommend ladders, because hamsters are not climbing animals. If they do fall, they will hurt themselves, and yeah, just they're not good with heights, so don't climb. Tunnels and toys are definitely good, but make sure they are hamster safe before you get them. Snuggling up. Bedtime for Syrian hamsters comes when the sun rises, so they'll need a dark sheltered space to curl up in and some comfy nesting material like soft hay or paper. Hamsters are especially fond of paper-based nesting materials they can shred to their liking. Do not use cotton wool or synthetic fibres, which may get caught around the limbs and cause blockages of eating. Thank you. Why do you sell fluffy bedding then? Anyway, yeah, what was the point? Yeah, that's not bad, to be honest. And you can also use like ripped up toilet paper if you want to save money, for not for the bedding but for nesting materials. Avoid coarse, rough hay and straw, as they can hurt your hamster's cheek pouches. Fresh water is a must for all animals. Check twice daily and change daily. Use a suitable bottle and check it every day to ensure that water is flowing through the nozzle, isn't blocked or leaking. Yeah. Syrian hamsters should be able to eat whenever they choose. Use a flat ceramic dish as it's hard to tip over, it's chew-proof and it's easy to clean. Yep. Or you can scatter their food around the cage to encourage natural foraging behaviour, but check their cage every day and remove any uneaten food. If you feed your hamster a muesli mix, they may only be eating certain bits and could miss out on important nutrients. To avoid this, you can feed your hamster complete nuggets instead. I wouldn't just give your hamster nuggets. See, I've made up my own food mix, which is Harry Hamster, nutritious pellets, mealworms and sunflower seeds. And what I also do is I try and give him something new every day, so either it be fruit, veg or meat. So he's got something new to try, and if I do find that he's leaving bits, then he's a very naughty boy and I make sure he eats them. Forget 5 a days, hamsters should just have one small piece of fresh fruit a week, like a small piece of apple. Too much fruit is bad for them as it is high in sugar and they can develop diabetes. Hamster-friendly veg such as broccoli can be enjoyed more often, whilst millet sprays make a fun and tasty occasional treat. Don't be tempted to give your hamster too much fresh food as this can cause tummy upsets. So when I do Reggie's food, he has, I can't even do it that small on my fingers, like half the size of that. And he has about 3 of them, so he's not having too much, whatever it is, fruit, veg, meat. So, who are hamsters for? Hamsters are nocturnal, so they are not suitable for young children. Even if older children look after them, remember an adult will be responsible for ensuring that they are cared for properly every day. That's a really good point, yeah, because if it's your child's hamster, it's your responsibility to make sure they are happy and healthy. Do I have enough space? You'll need a room for a large cage, indoors and away from other pets in a quiet place where your hamster can rest and won't disturb light sleepers. Yep. Can I afford a hamster? Hamsters are not cheap pets. Consider the costs of buying food, bedding and toys on a regular basis and paying for holiday care and vet fees, which is very true. When I got Reggie, I think for startup, I must have spent about £300 on him, and I'm still spending now. Can I commit to looking after hamsters? The average Syrian hamster lives for around 2 years, 1.5 to 2, but it could be longer. In that time, your older children may leave home. Also, think how often you may go away on holiday. Who will care for your hamster every day? Hamsters can be wonderful pets, but they need wonderful owners too. Yeah. So what we've got on the back, oh my god. Even more, there's not much more to go now. So, moving house can be stressful for small animals too. You might want to give them a probiotic supplement to help settle their tummy when you first bring them home without disturbing them. Always keep a close eye on your new hamster. Leave them to settle in to their new home for a few days before attempting to handle them. Yeah, it all depends on your hamster really, whether it be 24 hours to a week sometimes. Just keep an eye, make sure they're settling in. You can even sit next to the cage whilst they're awake and just speak or read a book to them. So your presence is there and they're getting used to your voice. Being handled doesn't come naturally to hamsters, so building a bond with your hamster will take time and patience. Start by talking quietly to your pet so they get to know your voice, and then carefully placing your hand into the cage. Perhaps offer a tasty treat, but don't try to pick them up straight away. Let your hamster come to you in their own time and climb onto your hand. Once they get to know you, you can start to handle them carefully using cupped hands. So Reggie isn't ready to get in my hands yet. Last night he was loads better. Every treat I gave him from my fingers, he took it. And sometimes he'll come into your palm to get the treats. And if my hand's in the cage, he'll walk over it, but he's not ready to be picked up yet. I've had him 2 weeks on Sunday. So it does take time. It can take days, weeks, months, but we'll soon find out how long it takes for Edge. To avoid causing them unnecessary stress, try to avoid waking up a sleeping hamster. This could frighten them and they may bite. They might also find it harder to trust someone who always disturbs them when they are asleep. It is best to handle your hamsters in the evening when they are naturally awake. Yes, do not wake your hamster. Some owners have separate playpen outside their cage for the hamsters to exercise in. This is a great idea, especially of an evening when they're more active, but it's only really suitable once you've got to know your hamster and their character a bit better. Make sure to put wooden or cardboard tubes, hiding places and toys in their playpen, and always keep a close eye on them. Okay, so even though Reggie isn't comfortable with me holding him, he's got a playpen for when I need to really get in there and have a little spot clean, because he tells me off when I try to move things to clean. But all I do is I get him in a tube or a wheel and I just put him in his playpen. He's got lots of hides and tunnels and treats in there to keep him occupied, and he's only in there for about 10 minutes while I have a little clean. Happy pets enjoy activities that come naturally to them. For your Syrian hamster, that includes hiding, chewing, exploring, digging and foraging. Tunnels and tubes make more use of the cage space and give your hamster things to explore and places to hoard their food. Dust-free wood shavings are ideal for digging in, and a wheel can give your hamster a workout. Solid wheels rather than open rungs should be fitted securely to the side of a cage to help prevent teeny hamster feet getting trapped. So wheels for a Syrian, at least 27 centimetres. I don't know what that is in inches. Like, it needs to be huge. And I think for dwarves, I'm not one to speak on dwarves because I'm a Syrian girl, but I think it is 8 to 10 inches, I'm not quite sure. And you don't want the wire ones, the wire wheels, because your hamster's limbs and feet can get caught in there. They could break a limb and they could also get bumblefoot. Okay, so it basically says a bit about how to spot wet tail and to take them to the vets. Yeah, bathe in sand. Make sure to give your hamster a sand bath using a small animal bathing sand. Regular grooming may help strengthen the bond between you and your pets and can highlight health problems too. So I use Komodo sand as it's dust free. So make sure you are getting a dust free sand, because I know that the Harry hamster sand, that's really dusty. I'm so glad I discovered that before I put it in his cage. Oh yeah, did you know that hamsters can catch cold off you? So be very careful when you've got cold. So that is really all there is, really. What does it say on this? Yeah, and you've just got a checklist on the back of things you need. I don't think any of these are bad. No, none of those are bad. I did also get this book from Pets at Home. I can have a look through this and see if there's anything worth mentioning in a later video, but I think this should be alright because it's written by someone with BSc, PhD certification, cons, FRSA, so they should know the shit. Anyway, that was reading the Pets at Home leaflet. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I think it's because they've had a rebrand. On other topics, I will not be going to Hamster Fair this year because I am working. So let me know how it goes. So that's been my video today. Thank you for watching and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Bye!